All right, it is Wednesday, February 24th. Welcome to the end of February. We got,
Crazy.
Yeah, I know, you believe it? Carl, John, Lauren, Anthony, and myself. How's everybody doing? Good?
Excellent. Doing awesome. Doing awesome.
All right. You guys all dug out? No more snow?
All right, go ahead, rub it in. I knew it was coming.
I care about you guys.
I know you
do. Sure you do.
We're good now. It's beautiful out. It's like 50
That's
degrees.
why you moved to Florida. You care about us.
All right. So we got N52, Star 53.
Yes, we do.
All right, John, what we got?
We got Ricky Batalico was the winner for 52. Beating out Todd Fedoric and CC Sabathia. And then today we're going to have an interesting matchup. Some guys we may know, and some we may not be able to pronounce, but we're going to have some fun.
At least you're honest. We just spent the last 15 minutes trying to figure out how to say his name,
and that's after listening to how it's pronounced and still not being able to say it.
Well, but hey, I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm not gonna cheap out and just say Wojo. But that's okay. For the Phillies, we have Bobby Abreu, the two-time All-Star, a Golden Glove winner, a Silver Slugger, member of the Phillies Wall of Fame. He's also the first person to hit a home run officially in Citizens Bank Park. He is also a two-time member of the 30-30 Club for 2 years there. He has 400 stolen bases in his career, 288 home runs, borderline Hall of Famer, and he's up there pretty soon, possibly, on be Hall of Famer. For the Eagles.
Hey, John.
Yes.
Is he on the John O'Brien Wall of Fame?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I mean, this is the first player that's covered both sides of the wall.
No, come on.
Yeah.
There's been a few. No, but Bobby was a good. Bobby was a good ball player.
You're telegraphing your vote, John.
Well, everybody knows I'm going Phillies. But
you spent the other 15 minutes trying to convince me.
I still have the marks in my arm here from climbing over the fence down at Veterans Stadium Park in the parking lot back there trying to get his autograph when I was younger. But
I'll sell you a ball for $20.
I got it that night. He saw me hanging up on the wall. He's like on the fence on the top of it. He's like, "Well, I guess you're stuck there. I guess going to have to at least get you a signature." So he finally did. That was pretty nice of him. But for the Eagles, we got Alex Wojciechowski.
What?
I'm going that
That's
way.
not even close, John.
Well, WOCIECHOWICZ.
How does that end with an I sound?
I don't know. It's all good.
He made a Pollock at Dago.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Well, some eyes do the same thing.
Where's Ryan Hannigan when you need
him? He's not on yet. He's a two-time NFL champion from 1948 and 49, back before the Super Bowl time. He was a member of the 1940 All-Decade team, an Eagles Hall of Famer, and also an NFL Hall of Famer. And he also ties into the Eagles this year. He's a first-round pick, number 6 overall as well. So I like how when things tie in together. For the Flyers, we have Shane Gostispeer, a 7-year player here with the Flyers, a defenseman. Played 349 games, 51 goals, 149 assists, 200 points. Pretty good power play. We'll say he's a pretty good power play player for us. For the 76ers, we have Daryl Chocolate Thunder Dawkins. He was a first-round pick, 5th overall. He has 8,733 points, over 4,400 rebounds, over 1,000 blocks in his career. And he ended his career playing for the Harlem Globetrotters, which is kind of interesting. And he's more known famous for tearing down the backboard the one day in Philadelphia, I believe it was. And then for the outsider, we have Don Drysdale, He's a 9-time All-Star, a 3-time World Series champion, a Cy Young Award winner, 3-time Major League strikeout leader. His number's retired by the Dodgers, and he also is a Hall of Famer for the Major League Baseball. So there we go. Mario, who do you have?
Well, I was going to go with Alex, what's his name, but since you couldn't pronounce it, I'm not going. I'm actually going to probably nix the unanimous vote. I'm going to go with Dawkins.
There you go. Okay.
So
We got a shot, Mario.
Yep.
so
All right. We can get rid of Mario right now. So, Lauren, who do you have?
That wasn't very nice.
That wasn't very nice. Oh, he's back now. So I don't know, because I feel like the guy sitting next to me probably was going to also break up the unanimous, but I'm going with Bobby.
There you go.
Look at you with the props.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you with props.
Yep.
Was he another one of your guys?
Yeah. And he was so much so that I still even have the jersey.
I
So
see that.
wow,
I see
it was
that.
it was close. It was close. Just I remember growing up with Dawkins. So
Don't try and cut him back in now.
come on, John.
Anthony, who do you have?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Dawkins. I like Bobby Abreu over the years, but I like the way Dawkins played. He was a good player, so I'm going to go with him.
should I get rid of him?
No, because
Can you give me a 5 there,
Dawkins,
Anthony?
What's that?
Can you give me a 5?
Oh, yeah. Wait.
Other way.
Yeah,
Other way.
wait.
The other hand. Other way. That way.
it would be that way. That way.
Oh,
There you go.
Oh boy. Anyhow.
That's why they voted for Dawkins. Carl, who do you have?
This is a real tough one for me because I know Bobby Abreu is going to win out, but I got to go Dawkins so that we can win the night. So 'cause that's all I really care about is winning the night, right?
Other way. Down.
And none of the three can high five each other. So that's perfect.
Down.
So,
All right.
Well, you
Who
know
you
where
got,
I'm
John?
going. You know where I'm going. I'm going Bobby Abreu. Definitely one of the underrated players here in Philadelphia.
No doubt.
So, just he wasn't loved by some because he didn't run through a wall, but or diving on the concrete in Veteran Stadium. But
So he didn't play 110%.
Right. Yeah. So but he played 162 games and put up numbers every year.
So we ran him out of town too.
Yeah. Kind of.
All right.
Kind of.
So it's 3-2.
3-2. Yeah.
3-2.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Good job, boys.
Yeah.
You got it. So now we move on to Eagles. What do the Birds got going on? Anything?
I didn't hear anything this week.
All right. So Wentz is gone, right?
Yes.
So
That happened.
rather than getting into the details of that, because that could go on all day.
Right. We got 5 minutes. So
What about the real quick, the article that came out today? I don't know if you saw it, Mario, and NBC Sports Philadelphia about the Eagles might trade up for the number 2 spot. I wanted to see what John thought about that. Because then you're really in the same situation I feel like you were last year, and that doesn't mean that Jalen Hurts is your guy necessarily. So I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, and the ironic part about it might be another North Dakota guy that they might be going after. So
with this going on, do you think Hurts is the guy? Do you think they're going to go with him?
if these reports are accurate, then no, he's not.
Okay, because I never thought they were going to go with him in the first place.
Well, Jeffrey Lurie supposedly fell in love with him. he was a big reason why he was here. But you can't really judge him like I was saying with Carson Wentz this past year because the whole team offensively was horrible. The offensive line was terrible. The wide receivers were terrible.
But don't you think they can tell whether he's worth trying again just by the way he played for the last several games?
Well, I mean, he's a leader. Supposedly, that's what everybody says, in the locker room and stuff. So,
who are we talking about?
Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Oh, how about getting back to Anthony's question of number 2 pick moving up? Who the hell's the number 2 pick going to be?
Trey Lawrence. Or
no, he's gonna be the first overall pick to Jacksonville.
No, that's the other guy. Trey Lawrence, I believe, is the guy from North Dakota, where Carson Wentz came from, or Justin Fields.
There's no other. If they're dead set on a quarterback, there's no other quarterback from a school that had some competition. That's
right. I know. Well, that's.
You don't want to go down that same route again where a guy looks great, but he didn't play like the greatest teams.
Right. They got too many holes, too many needs. They got too many to waste another 6th round pick or wasting picks to move up to 2 to play quarterback. They just can't. They can't be that stupid, can they?
Oh, they are.
You would
wait. Let me answer that.
You would think that they'd want to do something, some type of lineman, something that's not going to be a big name that actually helps for the team. But
exactly.
If they go with a quarterback and another one from North Dakota, that'd be outrageous.
Right. Well, the offensive lineman from I think it's Swall. I think his name is out of Oregon. Is supposedly the top-rated guy. So that would be probably the best move to make because you're in a rebuild right now. No matter if they want to say it or not, they're going to be rebuilding for a long time. Here and so I mean, you either do that or you take a corner. Possibly a quarterback if you're really not in love with Jalen Hurts, just because you're that high up in the draft. That you may not get there. Ideally, if you're going to be getting better, you're not going to be that high again. So that would be the only reason why you would take a quarterback if you don't really believe in him. But
I like Michael Taylor's suggestion to trade out of the 6th spot and pick up more picks, so that you can pick up more assets.
Right.
Move back, pick up more players, and go from there.
So here's a question: who's our backup? Isn't Sudfeld a free agent this year?
Well, he is, and that's why they're talking. They're going to either bring in a veteran guy like a Jacoby Brissett, or there's guys that are out there. Like Carl was saying, Fitzpatrick would be a good fit. But there's guys that you can always get as a veteran guy to come in as a backup, but that's why they were saying also too. That's why the rumors out there that a quarterback may be up there because it's a deep quarterback draft.
Right.
And Jalen Hurts, if he was in this draft right now, he'd be the 6th or 7th rated quarterback in this quarterback draft. So,
okay,
that's part of the reason why they may upgrade if they could. But,
okay.
Plus that'll give you 5 years of control being in the first round with a quarterback instead of, basically 3 years, 2 or 3 years with actually only 2 years left of Jalen Hurts after this year. That it's going to be a bad year.
So what do you think? What do you think they actually do?
I think they are going to take a quarterback. I don't know that. I don't think it's the right move, but I think that's where they're going to go.
Do you think they're going to take a quarterback and have Hurts be the backup?
Yeah, they're going to compete. They're going to compete. Yeah, whether or not.
So they're going to vie for the position, see who's better.
Because you got a new coaching staff, and you're rebuilding. So you only got 2 more years after this year with Jalen Hurts because he's only got a 4-year contract with the the second round pick versus a fifth year. So you'll have more time to build your team before you can have to pay your quarterback if you go that way. So,
Okay.
I agree with you though, Anthony. I'd get an offensive lineman. If you're rebuilding, you got to, rebuild that offensive line. But
it's not flashy and it won't create a lot of news, but that's the guys that get you where you need to be.
Right.
Exactly. You got to win in the trenches there. So, that's definitely the right move. But I think they're going to, pull a Howie and we'll be on draft day. Like, what?
All right. So let's move on to Flyers. How they doing? Since I can't watch them down here.
They're back playing anyway.
Well, good. So how many games have they played since their
2
break?
2.
3?
Right.
Was it 3?
Just 2.
Just 2?
2.
All right.
Tonight's game 3.
Right.
They're back with the Rangers tonight.
Yeah.
All right. When do the makeup games come into play?
Yeah, the schedule's out, right?
Yeah.
They got a few back-to-backs. They got a crazy situation,
Yeah, schedule's going to be tough for them.
So hopefully they get healthy fast.
Carl,
I know Giroux's back tonight. Anybody else? I didn't hear anyone else.
I think Braun as well.
Okay.
I believe I heard.
Carl, do you feel any different than you did a couple weeks ago? I mean, they still look like, when you watch the outdoor game now, obviously, there were issues with the ice and all that stuff, but they still just look like a little stagnant, like something's missing. You still
they were missing what, 5 of their top forwards.
Right.
That was a bad. I wish they hadn't even played that game.
Right.
Because that was ugly. That was really
do you feel
ugly.
like in the same place that they were before? Obviously, the guys have been out, but do you feel any better?
No. The team has dropped way off. The defense isn't playing well in front of Hart. Hart's not playing well. They got a lot of holes all of a sudden. Would you agree, John?
Oh, I do. I mean, but it's one of those things, like you said, you had forwards playing defense and, defense been playing forwards, Do
you think that playing – apparently they're going to be playing a lot of games in a short amount of time. You think that comes back? Or do you think that ends up hurting them in the long run where just wait and see?
It's probably going to hurt them just because, you got to get your legs back as a player after being out that long. And then you're playing that many games back to back like that. It's
right.
going to.
Lauren, you're the goalie guru. Who's in goal tonight?
Probably Moose.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about Flyers goalies over the years, but everyone's talking of comparing Wentz to Hart, which I don't think is fair. That's ridiculous.
Ooh.
A lot of people agree. Nelly on our staff, Carl, Nelly, and Nelly's a big hockey guy. And Nelly just basically said, and I'm going to butcher all this, but he hopes he doesn't amount to is it the guy that went to Nashville? Is that the team he went to, the goalie?
Who? Not Brizgalov.
Is that where he went?
Or Bobrovsky went to Columbus. Bobrovsky went to Columbus.
Sorry, Columbus, yes. Obviously, it's too early to think of that stuff, but I hope they just don't make something silly happen like that.
Well, here lies the problem with the Flyers, and take the whole COVID thing out of the equation, because when Matt Niskanen quickly exited and retired, it left a big hole in the Flyers defense, and they really never really got anybody to jump in there, and they've been trying to patchwork this defense, and it's just, Carter Hart the other night looked horrible, no doubt about it. But you got to play better defense in front of him.
Sure.
I think it's way too early to start, saying that, Carter's not the guy, or start comparing him to Carson Wentz. But I mean, that's
what I was thinking when they some of these people on the radio call and, bring stuff like that up. I mean, the guy had a few bad games and he didn't really have much help in front of him. You can't really compare the two.
But Moose only gave up 1 goal, and he had the same guys in front of him.
No,
But
I
they're
mean,
playing different.
I'm not gonna argue the point, because just as I was a Carson Wentz fan, I'm a Carter Hart fan.
Well, and I'm not a Carter Hart fan, but I do think that, sort of now we're seeing Carter go through the first issue of his career. And I think it's going to be more important than ever to see how he rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Obviously, this is the first time he sort of rode this invincible wave, so to speak, when he first started, and he was everything and more that we could have wanted. And now it's the first time that we're really seeing sort of this not such great play. And I think now is the time for him to really readjust, figure out what's going on, and make the necessary adjustments to show that he is a true sort of future goalie of this organization. Otherwise, I think we could run into a lot of issues down the road where we go back to that goalie controversy again, because Moose has proved to be a really good backup.
And he could very well end up being the number 1 before this is all said and done. You know what I mean? Yeah. But real quick, because I know Mario's getting ready to cut our hockey time off. I can see him ready to slam us. How about Hextall today? How about Hextall today? He quickly grabbed Friedman from the Flyers and put them all waivers like that. Yeah, he drafted Friedman, and he was all over that.
So how difficult do you think the Penguins are going to be now?
Well, they're already playing better. I can see Hextall walked into that locker room and probably challenged every one of them, including Crosby, Malkin, every one of them, their goalie who was playing horrible. But you know what? This show's not about the Penguins, because who cares?
But
I was just making a Hextall point. That's all.
And plus the LA comment, it was the last period. It was 6-2 at the time. I don't know that the Bruins were playing as much, and it didn't really put as much offensively against them. They had a little spurt there in the third period, but there wasn't.
I don't know. Much. That boy wanted his hat trick pretty bad.
Oh yeah, no, he did. He got it, but
yeah. I don't know about any let-ups there with the Bruins. The Bruins are solid.
Oh well,
that's a good hockey team there. That's a real good hockey team. But you know what? I mean, the Flyers have to play better. And I've said this, and getting back to AP's point, their top guys are not playing well. Their top line is not playing well. Their second line is not playing well. Their third and fourth lines have been keeping them in all these games.
Yeah,
and that's not good. That's just not good. And then we got Carter, who's I'll be honest, I think his confidence is shattered. He's played more bad games than good games. He needs to get his confidence back. So,
you think he will?
I do. I do.
Too.
It's gonna be up to the coach, to play him in, some of these, more not quite as hostile games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
last year at the beginning, they didn't look like the best team overall. And then, once they started up and before everything got shut down, they started getting going again. So I think they go through these spurts. It's just a little scary once you get to like a playoff or something like that. You can't go through those spurts. You got to be a little bit more consistent overall is the problem with them the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think if they have faith in Hart and keep him in, I think we'll do okay.
Yeah. It seems like right now he's got a hole right above his knee pads. Like when he goes down, it's like that's where that's
or here.
A lot of them are going right above the pads when he's down, and it just goes to show when you watch the replay or when they show replays, like just how skilled the players are in the NHL all around to be able to just pick that one spot. Like
they know his weakness.
Right.
Everyone focuses on him, but as we mentioned, because he's the big name, If they could score more goals and not let any pucks in his area, you don't have to worry about him.
Well, that you bring up an excellent point because they're getting outshot every game.
Right.
You
So
know what I mean?
if you're not shooting, you're not scoring. So of course he's going to have shots on goal.
Yep.
So,
And a lot of them aren't even close. I mean, it's almost like two to three, shot totals between the Flyers and the opponent that they're getting. So, yeah, it's
they got some work.
Right.
So, speaking of shots, let's go basketball. First place Sixers.
Oh man, our hockey segment got run over by
I
a
gave you
reindeer?
I
What
gave you eight
happened?
minutes. I gave you 8 minutes. You only said 7. I gave you 8. So
I don't like your clock management.
Call
call
him
me
Dougie
Andy
Peterson.
Reid.
Where's my clipboard? I'm breaking out my clipboard.
What do you guys? Do you feel any better, any worse about the Sixers? You feel the same? If Joel Embiid's playing, you're going to win. If they're not, he's not. I mean, what do you feel since last week?
Well, I mean, I think they're playing. I think about the last 10 days, Ben Simmons has really gotten the itch and knows now he can be more aggressive, and he's stepping it up, taking it more and scoring. Even going to the foul line late in the games, he's not afraid of that. So I like that. Congratulations to him making the All-Star. Hopefully we'll get Tobias Harris there as well if a couple of guys come out of the playoffs or All-Star game. But yeah, I mean they're playing well. I think they're just a little short. They're probably like a player short.
Well, it's interesting. I was after the first Raptors game the other day. One of the shows was talking about how they are. The bench for the Raptors was really, it's one game, but the bench for the Raptors was really scoring points. Right. Whereas the bench for the Sixers, Dwight Howard had 3 or 5 points. So-and-so had 2 points. I mean, you can't be like, double or triple outscored by their bench and expect to win a game. We know that their starting guys are good on the court. They got to do something more, like we talk about every week, for those guys if they're going to compete deep into the playoffs.
Right. No, that's true. Korkmaz has got to step up like he did last night. Thibault's got to keep playing. He's got to get a little more offense into him. He's playing good defensively. Maxey, I like Maxey's energy when he comes out there. And Joe's playing a little bit more, and scoring. But I mean, Toronto tried to, double team Embiid ready to half court. They were double and triple teaming him. So it was taking him completely out of the game, which is fine.
Here's a big problem with the Sixers. Other than Joel, is there anybody on that team that the other opposing team is afraid of?
Well, right. No,
I would say Tobias is the biggest threat to going to the hoop and doing that, but I don't think they're scared of Tobias Harris.
No, and that's why. And Sean brings up the name Kyle Lowry, and I've been bringing it up for 2 or 3 days now. You know what I mean? They need a shooter. They need somebody, that can just bring the ball down the court, boom, hit the shot. You know what I mean? Stop playing with the goddamn basketball. Right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're putting the ball in Joel's hands just about all the time.
Right.
Well, of course. By the way, if he's scoring 50 points, I'd double and triple team him too. If the other guys are
but you're not winning enough of those games. When he scores 50.
That's
what
problem.
I mean. You need to balance.
That's how
you need to balance it out.
If he's scoring 50 points and you're barely winning a game, you got issues.
Yeah, right. Of course. I don't know. I love what Doc's done with the team. Seth Curry's hurt again. Right. You got issues there. Danny Green, I don't know. I mean, I like the pick when they first got him, but he's grown old on me already. You know what I mean? But I just think they need to do something at the trade deadline in the way of a big player.
So when is the trade deadline?
That's a good question.
Like middle of March, I believe it is.
Yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up.
Well, everyone talks about JJ Redick, but John or Carl, someone who is a guy that would be out there that'd be worthy that can actually make the shots at this point? I don't even know.
And I was a big JJ fan because he came off the bench with a lot of energy and was hitting threes. But, if you can get somebody that you can put in the starting lineup, like a Kyle Lowry, you know what I mean, who can give you 30 a night, I think you got to go for it. You got to package a Thibault or a Maxey, give up next year's number 1 pick. You got to be all in this year because I think it's winnable. You get a Lowry, and I think you're a championship team.
Well, the other thing is, God forbid. I mean, he's playing hard, and Embiid's playing harder than he ever has. He's getting double teamed.
Exactly.
You have to give him some help, unless he's going to get hurt, and then you're really toast.
Exactly. You cannot put the ball in his hands every time down the court. It's just not good.
I like Tobias stepping up a little. I like Ben Simmons being more aggressive. I just don't think it's enough right now.
Yeah, positively not.
No.
So
especially if Curry and Green aren't shooting.
Can we go back to hockey for a second? What do the two teams have in common? Neither one of them have enough scoring.
Right.
Right.
Neither one of them.
Nope.
So
Okay.
I mean that's my segue to wherever.
And we're going to segue right into
Baseball.
We got
what? You threw out the tease this weekend driving from Sarasota to Clearwater. You had everybody fired up. I mean, you had 600 likes and 400 comments, and I mean, you had everybody fired up. Even the guards, they were like, "Who is this guy?"
You're so full of shit.
That's not true. That's not true. We're all jealous. We all want to be there.
There's nothing. Seriously, there's nothing to see. You have to stand in the parking lot and hope you can see over the fence. So you know how they have the tarp on the fence going all the way around? You have to look through that. Apparently, the news media was supposed to show up on Monday, and I don't know exactly how the conversation went. I'm not sure if they were going to let them bring ladders and stand on top, but one of the comments was, if they get hurt, it's their own fault. We're not responsible, they were told. So I have no idea what they were planning, but they were not allowed in the general area either. So, it is what it is. Do you remember where you go up to the ticket window?
Yeah.
That was never a field before, was it?
Yeah, it was always a field there.
Really?
That's the half field.
It looks different for some reason.
Yeah, because they got them stupid white tents set up and all that stuff.
Yeah, that could be it.
That's been there. That's been there for. Remember, we did a show there.
I was just saying, go back and last year's show.
It looks different to me for some reason. It doesn't look like it did last year.
Remember, you got smacked in the back of the head with the ball that came back when you were.
No. That I would remember unless it knocked me out, John.
Larry was smoking them bad cigars, stinking their waist up.
That I remember.
Sue's eyes were watering. She was held the camera still.
Yeah, remember that? I know. And then Lauren came to the rescue and got us inside for the next week, and then here we are. There was never a next week.
Yeah.
No, they shut it down the next day, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Friday.
Friday.
That Friday they shut it down.
Yeah.
But no, it's baseball season. I know Anthony's excited, and I really want him to to jump in with some Fightins action because he's got a schedule. I know he's got a couple of big signings coming up with some advertisers. You're ready to ink a few big deals, right? Come on, let it out of the bag. Let's hear it.
No, I will say, I mean, any of the new meetings, any new sponsorship meetings have been going very well because, if you decide to meet with me in the first place right now, you're sort of all in, right? The people that don't want to advertise are probably not meeting with you right now in the first place. So if they're willing to meet with you, they're most likely wanting to do something. So that's all been going well. But we got the schedule from Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball sort of released all the schedules for minor league teams on Thursday this past week at noon. Times are not on there because they're still trying to figure out what times. Some teams want a camp day. There's different rules for how early games can be. So they're still trying to figure out that, but they at least know what teams will be playing on what days, which is good. I know we talked about it before, but it looks like 6 games on, 6 games off, 6 games on, 6 games off. So you have 2 weeks home. It just cuts down the travel, which is fine. So we're starting the theoretical planning stage. Our schedule will go from May 4th through, I forget, like September 12th. But, we're still also tiptoeing a little bit because just like, all the other teams, we have to worry about attendance. And, depending on the attendance, you would do some promotions on certain days that you might not do on other days. So it's difficult right now because even though we got that schedule, we thought once we got it, it would be a lot easier. It is easy as far as planning, and if people want to buy like a ticket plan that you could pick your games over the course of the year. But if you want specifics on bobbleheads and T-shirts and fireworks, we don't have that just yet. That's going to be a process until we can really figure out how many people are allowed in each stadium. Pennsylvania has some rules as far as who's allowed in, who's allowed, not allowed in right now. But Major League Baseball also has their own theoretical rules. So it's sort of a balance of working with Major League Baseball and the state. Not that someone would have the ultimate control over the other, because obviously that comes down to the state a lot, but it is also Major League Baseball's players. So if they only want a certain amount of fans, then you kind of have to listen to what they say too. So there's still a lot up other than getting that schedule on Thursday. There's still a lot of work to be done because that's just a list of dates. It doesn't tell me how many people are coming or what we could do. So
do you think that Major League Baseball is waiting to see how it goes in spring training, to see how
Sure.
it goes with the limited amount of people allowed into the Clearwater Stadium before they sort of determine what they think might work for the other minor league teams?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, they're sort of in the same position as everyone else. You have to wait for theoretically a COVID vaccine to get back to a normal state. They watch CNN and every other news source like everyone else, and they know that it's not ready just now today. So they have to be okay with that. They're hoping that it's because we're an outside summer venue, that would be a lot easier than the, basketball and hockey and things like that. But they have to be very careful. Like right now, it's, obviously the Phillies players and the Iron Pigs players in camp. We won't even theoretically go there for a month after, when this is over and they leave, that's when we start. So that's why our schedule doesn't start either till May. Now, if at any point during spring training there's an outbreak, at any point during this, God forbid, something bad happens, that could also delay things. So, obviously we're hoping to play May through September. And that's what, we want to play, but we're sort of at the mercy of the virus. That could get pushed. That could get pushed for Major League Baseball. I hope it doesn't, obviously. But, we got a schedule. We're working on it. It's just going to be another few more weeks until we can figure out what goes on what date based on how many fans are allowed in.
Because I think
But
there's
you guys,
a bit of
go ahead, Lark.
uncertainty that you were given direction as far as fans go when you received that schedule, but that is not accurate.
No, it's not accurate at all. I think that's the one, if you look at Facebook or other social media, we announce a schedule, and I don't blame anyone because they're not involved in it like we are. They don't get it. But they're like, well, are we allowed in? Or, is Governor Wolf going to not let us in? And it's like, dude, I literally got the same schedule 2 seconds before you. All I have is a schedule. So when people are getting upset that we're not like announcing how many people are allowed in, don't you think that if we knew, we would announce it? Don't you think if we had more detail, we would announce it? I understand fans are frustrated, but the people that make their livelihood at it are also very, very frustrated too.
If not more.
So, I think an important point is that Major League Baseball is going to focus their efforts on those 30 major league teams first. They're going to determine how many fans those facilities can hold because they're 10 times the size. So Mike makes a comment here that the Phillies are going to have fans on opening day. Of course, because they have a much larger facility. There's a whole lot more revenue there to be made
You can spread out a
than
lot
in
better.
Reading, and you have a lot more space to work with. So their first priority are these major league teams, because that's what, the owners have said. They didn't get any money last year. They lost money. So they want to be able to make as much as they can this year. So their priority has been those 30 teams to figure that out. Now they'll worry about AAA first, then AA, and so on from there.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a major league stadium, you have to understand they hold 40,000 people plus. Even if you're at whatever percentage, you can get 5, 10, 15,000 people in there and have plenty of room. Our stadium only holds 9. So once you start spreading people out, what is that? 2,500, 3,000.
Right.
At a certain point, it's a little tough for us to make some money. So, but again, I'm not saying we're not a priority. We're certainly a priority, but they're major league owners. That's their top priority is the major league. So we'll get there. It's just going to be a little bit of a rockier road than I thought it would have been.
So
plus with you guys, you got the concourse. You only have that little area for the concourse. So
right.
Yeah,
even though you put 2,500 or 3,000 people in your ballpark, if they're walking in that concourse, it's not like
gonna
the
be
ballpark at Citizens Bank Park to be able to walk through.
I was Daryl the other day, and all the things that make us America's classic ballpark and very intimate and a great place for people to run around and kids, not worry about the kids because it's not a gigantic place. It's the same reasons that are actually hurting us right now.
Right.
So, all the things that make us great are all the things that are making it tough right now because of the virus.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But
A little bit.
you guys are ready, though, right? You guys are ready as soon as you know what that number is, right? You're ready. You're ready to pounce on this.
Yeah, I mean,
right? Because I know how you guys are in Ready. You're very aggressive.
We're in a very good spot compared to every other team. We have a full staff.
Right.
The staff is fully ready to go. We are prepared as we can for everything. The day that we know the amount of fans is the day that we can start dropping promotions. Right. There's already internal, theoretical what promotions to be on what day. But, if you're only allowed X amount of fans in one day, might not want to do a mega blast fireworks because it doesn't make sense because you can't sell more tickets in the first place, sort of a thing. Right. You may or may not be able to do a certain meet and greets with celebrities that might have to go to next year. That's just the world we're in right now. But we'll be okay this year. It won't look like a normal Reading Phillies season. We'll do the best we can to make it look like that. But you can bet darn well that throughout the year, once we get through August and September and it ends, for 2022 will be the biggest year that we've ever had because, we have to. I mean, we really have to.
The beer will be cold and the hot dogs will be grilled, right? That's all I care about.
That's all that matters.
It's
right?
all that matters.
All that matters.
The best hot dogs in all of Berks County, right?
That's right. So yeah, we're excited. We're almost there, and I don't know, Mary. I don't know if you talked to any of the people down there. We were talking to who was that? Carl in the store the other day. Was that Tom? We were talking to about going. He got tickets and didn't have a problem getting tickets in spring training. I forget who that was the other day.
Yeah, Tommy Kelly. I talked to a few people, and if you got in early, you got tickets. They were selling them in groups of 2 and 4. So, you were kind of, I guess they're doing that pod thing,
Sure.
where, and Joe Stinger had commented because, he's only looking for a single ticket.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be a little bit difficult for those types of guys.
So on the website, there's no tickets available. You got to buy them from second market. And you're right. You can only buy them in groups of 2 or 4. Yeah.
And I was talking to somebody over in Lakeland and the Tigers, and they never sell out. You can walk up and buy tickets all the time. And Lakeland, the Tiger Stadium over there, completely sold out. So all of great, because of you're only talking about 2,500 to 3,000, so it's an easy sellout.
Right.
It's easy, but everybody's just gotta, you gotta, reel it back in, be comfortable, you know what I mean, and just enjoy what you got.
So
you know what I mean?
Did the Cactus League decide to play regular time, or did they still want to push it off? Or is there no mention about that?
No, the schedule.
on.
Yeah,
Okay.
the schedule's out. The times are out. Yeah, they're rocking. They're ready to rock and roll. They start playing Friday in Lakeland.
Yeah.
The Phillies do.
So
No,
what
Sunday.
happened? What happened with that
Sunday.
letter? What happened with we want to push it back a month?
Yeah, that's
The letter was from the mayors of those towns.
Okay.
With all due respect, and I get it, they're the mayor of those towns, but
It means nothing.
a lot of times money talks, and they can say what they want, but they need these guys in spring training. So
Okay.
there's guys, the county that had more cases than anywhere in the country is spring training. So, I don't know. I don't know what to comment about that.
yeah,
Let's hope they're all safe. That's all I'll say.
yeah.
Well, look, it appears, it appears that, I can only go by the Phillies, and seeing the 900 pictures that John posts daily, that they've got white tents set up at different locations,
Yeah.
And I would assume they're testing guys regularly,
Every day.
and doing all the, the protocols of Major League Baseball, which is awesome.
Mhm.
And hopefully, hopefully everybody stays clean and stays healthy. But can we talk a little bit about Mr. Philly? He just came to camp yesterday, and he's got everybody all fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper, he's got everybody fired up.
Clearwater?
He's just
The Clearwater.
yeah, Clearwater.
Oh God! And they sold
Yeah.
out.
What's
Those
that?
shirts sold out.
Yeah.
So, who didn't see that coming?
Yep.
Well, no matter what people think of him, I mean, the nice part about him is if you're a fan of the team in general, or you're a guy on the team, you love him. He's bought into the culture. He's got Fanatic bat and shoes on. I mean,
Yeah.
as a Philadelphia person, you can't not like that type of player.
Right.
I don't know if all his opposing guys like him, but his teammates probably like him.
I think his attitude is different from when he was in Washington to from when he's here.
I think so too, but I think baseball aside from that, kind of similar to Joel Embiid, actually. Bryce Harper became a dad here in Philadelphia, and I think some changes in you as a player a little bit. You kind of realign your priorities. You sort of have a bigger purpose for playing, and it's not mentioned much, but Joel Embiid had a baby in the off season, and he said something to the effect of, I'm a changed man because of this. I see the world differently. So maybe some of his play has something to do with that. But going back to Bryce Harper, he's a father of two now. So I think that has a little bit to do with, you kind of lose that ego a little bit, that cockiness about you that he had when he was in Washington.
Well, and some of those,
absolutely.
when he was on the, those little fights and skirmishes in Washington, you look back now, that's like 3, 4, 5 years. So, a couple of those things happen and they sort of say that's you forever. And that's not fair either. You know what I mean? Everyone grows up and changes at a certain point. So,
well, think about it. When he was there, he was a kid when he started there.
19 years old.
well, he was a kid. He played in Harrisburg for the Senators, which was the AA for the Nationals. And he's been told since he's 11 years old that he's going to be one of the best players of all time. So, that gets to your head after a while. And then, maybe now you cool down a little bit.
Yeah. And then you're 19 making a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
How could you not be that way?
Right.
So I think he grew up a lot, which I'm thankful for because I was not a big fan of his when he was at Washington. But I completely changed my attitude.
Well, and he's also done everything he needs to do if you're a fan that you want him to do.
Oh, absolutely.
He's been vocal about JT Realmuto.
Yep.
He's been vocal about wanting to win. He's gone all in with the Fanatic and all that. I mean, he's done everything that he needs to do. The other players like him.
Right.
So you can't have a complaint if you're a fan or a teammate.
Right. Oh,
No
yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
Dolly just solidified it.
it's
So
done now.
Bryce is a good guy. So that's the end. That's the end of the conversation.
Plus,
I'm
I think
good.
a lot of it
He's
was media
good. I'm
driven.
good.
think some of it's media driven too. As far back in Washington, you get the rap, and kind of the same way with Wentz. To tie it back with Wentz, that he's not a good teammate and he's not this. You get the spin, so who knows? But ever since, like you said, since he's come here to Philadelphia, he's been a totally different person.
Right.
Does $330 million change make that happen? Maybe, but
how much is that going to change from what he had before? I mean, granted, it's a crap load of money, but it's not like he was hurting for money before either.
Well,
so,
true,
but now he's set for the rest of his career.
Well,
but
the way I see it now, you know what I mean? You got to back up all the talk.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You know what I mean? The talk's out there. You know what I mean? The Phillies signed the Phillies signed JT. He was a big opponent of getting that deal done. Right? The Phillies went and got it done. You know what I mean? They've spent a lot of money, right, John? Over $200 million.
Yep.
Right? They've addressed the bullpen. Whether these arms can be the right arms, you're talking $200 million payroll. I believe that's top 5 in baseball, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
right?
Yep.
But at the end of the day, all the critics are only picking them to win 83 games. That's not enough. That's not enough.
Well, if you look at some of these predictions that came out in the last couple of days, some of them are accurate for a lot of teams. The Pirates, Baltimore, a lot of those teams at the bottom. But the NL East, when you look at that, I don't know that I necessarily agree with the NL East for sure. First of all, it's a sort of a crapshoot between a lot of the teams. Second, they had one of the polls of the Braves losing a lot of games. I don't know that I necessarily believe that right away. They're always a good team. The Phillies are going to have some work, but I do think that they could certainly compete in that division pretty well. If some of those pitchers that they got, work, if they could add a couple bullpen guys throughout the course of the year, I think they might surprise some people. Now you have to you got to have everyone performing at those top peaks. You got to have Rhys Hoskins hitting, Didi doing the same thing, Bohm continuing what he did, Spencer Howard getting a few wins. But I think, I don't know. I think they look pretty good right now in that division. They could do a couple more moves, but they've done everything they needed to do this offseason so far. I mean, is there a person
let's go around the horn
getting that they haven't? There's not a guy that they talked about getting that they really haven't been able to get, right? There hasn't been that name. They've got everything.
They still need another starting pitcher. I don't know that there was a name that it was,
right.
Aaron Nola that they needed to get, but
they can still get. I'm just saying, there's not like some big another Zach Wheeler out there that they didn't. They did everything they were supposed to do.
Right.
They can find someone else.
Right. But like you were saying, Anthony, as far as the top 5 salary there, Carl, they have to buy everybody right now because we don't have the farm system to be able to plug players in. So, we're going to have a high payroll just because of that reason. For one, if you want to compete, and two, having that 83 number, it may sound a little bit strange, but like we're all saying, the NL East is going to be a tough division. So you got to play each team 19 times,
right?
So you're going to be beating each other up a lot. So you're not going to have a team that's going to win 100 games out of our division. You wouldn't think.
So who's going to be the toughest team in our division to beat?
Probably, I still think the Braves.
That was my thought too.
But the Mets have done a lot, but the Mets have always had issues though, not being able to stay there. But they're kind of like the Cowboys of the division, that they always have a lot of talent there, and then they don't achieve what they're supposed to.
I don't think they're going to be as bad as people think they're going to be. I don't think they're going to be as easy to beat though.
Oh no. And Washington is still. I mean, you got 4 teams, all 4 of us. Washington, and then even the Marlins are a good team as well. But not in that. They're a step behind us. The 4 top guys with the Mets, the Nationals, the Braves, and the Phillies.
Right.
Any one of them can win the division. It's just a matter of staying hot throughout the year. It's just.
Yep. And the Marlins always play the Phillies pretty tough. So.
And that's what happened.
Yeah. I wouldn't count on anybody right now. Like literally anything would not surprise me in that division this year.
Yep.
And just like you're saying, those you have to be able to beat those teams like the Marlins, because other teams like the Braves will beat them
Right.
17 out of 19 times, and
they
we
just
win.
seem to be the teams that we have the problem with, are the teams that we should beat.
Well, but those are the games that cost you in the long run, because then if you end up being 9-8 against them, well, you lose 6-7 games, versus other teams in our division.
Right.
Yeah, but I think that's going to be the hard thing. I mean, but the hard part's going to be getting a wild card potentially out of our division, because of us everybody beating each other up. And,
right.
Well, the thing is, I feel like, if you said it today, I feel like the Phillies would definitely be in the run for that wild card, but you have to worry about some of the you only got 2 teams that can do that. And that West Coast out there with the Padres and the Dodgers and all that, you feel much better if you could win the division. But some of those West Coast teams are pretty darn good, and they're going to continue to get better. So the Phillies got to keep getting better. I mean, you can't hope for a wild card. You got to hope to win the division, but it's going to be a tough division.
Well, like you just said, you got the two teams out in the West, the Padres and the Dodgers. One's winning the division, one's a wild card. So you really only have one wild card,
one spot. So you have to hope that you have a better record than any of those teams in the Central, the Cardinals, the Brewers. It's going to be a tough year. It's going to be a fun year for baseball, but it's going to be a tough.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, Carl, you were going to suggest something. Go ahead.
Well, I'm curious. I know everybody's, we're all into analytics and numbers and, wins and losses. And I'm just curious as to what you guys think, where you put the Phillies this year. Your own opinion, not someone else's that you've read or heard, or, are the Phillies capable of winning 85 to 87 games? I think they got to win 87 games to be in the mix. What do you guys think?
Well, that'll be definitely in the mix. As far as you got to get there for the wild card, and even for the division. Because I think with our division being there, I think they're probably in that range between 85 to 90 wins. It's just a matter of everybody stepping up.
Right.
I just think we're the Phillies. We need to have a couple of guys step up and have career years.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Carl, I think they're 100% capable that they can have 87 wins or even 89 wins in a good situation. There's also a situation which you don't want to think about before the season starts, where they won't have the Pirates with 50 wins, but they could have also 79 wins and be a little disappointing. So they got to win those close games. They got to get that ball back. They're right there.
Yeah,
and they got to win within the next year, 2, 3. I mean,
with that $200 million payroll, they are built to win now. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of the wins and losses. The games that you lost last year, you need to win this year.
Right.
Bottom line. So, that's where you're at.
I'm thinking if our pitching is so, we're up around 85. If our pitching is better than we expect, they're up around 90.
I think 90 puts us. In celebration mode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a nice number. I like that. But I mean, a lot of things have to happen.
Right.
The pitchers that they got have to work. They have to get better pitchers if they don't. If not, they're going to have to score a lot of runs.
Right.
A lot of runs, which is not easy to do.
And that's why I'm saying pitching.
Pitchers. Do you know who's a free agent this year?
Cole Hamels.
Ding, 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 ding. And I think now would be the perfect time to give Philadelphia the hometown discount, come back to Philly for a year, retire as a Philly, give that bullpen, that pitching staff some veteran presence. I realize he's well past his baseball prime. He's 37 years old. I get it. So it's going to have to be quite a discount. But I think he could provide some really good insight to those guys in that locker room, on that pitching staff. I mean, he was a World Series MVP.
Right.
His pitching mechanics might not be there, but his pitching brilliance is. So bring him back. Let him help these guys, get acclimated and figure it out for something cheap, and let him retire here as a Philly at the end of the season.
You know what I would do? I would sign him for a year and give him an option for next year, so that if he has a good year as a marketing person, if he has a good year this year and there aren't many fans there, then he could go out with a bang with a retirement ceremony and all that stuff that everyone wants. I'd sign him for a year with a second-year option.
There you go.
Lauren, what's the agent's name?
Oh goodness.
Is it something Landis?
No, John. Oh, let me see if I have it in my phone.
No, I know. I think he's played. Not him, but the name's a baseball name.
Yeah, he also represents Adam Wainwright as well. So he's got a few names. But why do you think I should call him?
I do. I do. That was brilliant. That was brilliant to bring 35 back into town. Why not?
The only problem is it depends on how much money he's gonna want for
Well, yeah, he can't come in with 18 million from the the break.
At this point, he's going to come in on a let's see what you got, and we'll invite you to Major League Camp, and you can make the team.
That's what the Pirates did with Todd Frazier. He's getting old. He didn't have any other offers. They invited him to minor league camp. He'll make the team. He just not what he normally made.
Right.
John Boggs.
There you go. John Boggs.
John Boggs is the agent's name.
John Boggs, dialing you up, buddy. Dialing you up.
On that note, we will start takeaways. Lauren, you're up first.
I have two, but they're quick. One, I was right about Moose starting in goal. Two, I would like to send all good vibes and thoughts to Tiger Woods on his recovery.
All right, Anthony.
Come out to Carl's Cards on Saturday to see Tony Atlas. One of my signings. I'm going to put more together.
Mm-hmm. This one is going to be a doozy, folks. He's definitely taken one too many punches to the head.
Stop
Who, Anthony or Tony Atlas?
No. You Unfiltered Sue is entertaining. You should come out for Tony Atlas.
I might put Sue at the table so they can talk back and forth.
Oh, that'd be great.
Dad, let's do that. Let's put the two of them at the same table together.
TikTok.
That would get us a lot of likes on TikTok.
Oh my God.
We go viral.
For sure. Yeah.
All right, Carl, you're up.
I got to bring it down a peg or two because we lost another good a good fan, a good man, good father. He wasn't a Phillies fan, but he supported the Philadelphia teams. Local guy, Matt Abreu, passed away, 47 years old. Just absolutely crushed a lot of people. He's a Delco kid. I'll call him a kid. Just an awfully nice guy. And I just been thinking about him a lot. He came out and supported the store. He came out and supported us out at the Fightins games. He just one of those good guys. And man, I just been thinking an awful lot about him this week and just sad to see such young people, good young people that we lose, at a very early age. So on that note, I wish the family all the best.
Yes.
All right, John.
Well, we got games coming up on Sunday, so I'm happy for the Phillies. So that we're gonna have something to look forward to. We're gonna hopefully get back to some kind of normalcy. We got that'll be enjoyable to watch. Hopefully we'll have a lot more of them on TV this year.
John, they did put that schedule out today when the games are going to be televised.
Is there a good amount on TV?
Well, they're pulling that like NBC SP plus nonsense. So some I guess are going to be online. Some of them are going to be on TV. It's hard to tell which is which, but it sounded like maybe 8 games were going to be televised actually on NBC. NBC Sports. Otherwise, the other ones are going to be that online stuff.
They're only playing 14, right?
Yeah.
I think it's 14 games. All right. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. No, so we get that back, and then they announced that hopefully this year we're going to have opening day, have some fans there. So we got to hope. That's good news to come. So, like seeing the world come back a little bit back to life. So.
Yeah, the numbers have gone in our favor. So hopefully we can go see a lot of baseball together.
Absolutely.
That'd be good.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm going to end on a personal note, which is actually pretty good. For those of you that know, I love music, and one of my very good friends, Matt Giuliano from the Giuliano Brothers, has been battling COVID since before Thanksgiving. He was on ventilator for months. Looks like he's going to be getting out of rehab in a couple of weeks. I talked to him on Monday. He still doesn't have really good mobility in his left arm, and for a guitar player, that's bad. But they're hoping to get that fixed with a lot of therapy, and he's very happy, so that makes me happy. So,
That's great.
all right.
Yep.
We will see you in March.
Yes.
Right? Next week. Thanks for joining. Have a good night.
See you later.
Thanks, guys. Be safe.